The day has come. We're off to Bordeaux. Here's us driving to the airport. Here's us once we arrived. Going through security. Waiting at our gate, getting some food. Here's us waiting in line to get on the plane. Got our seats. Jaden. Here's our view from out the window. Landed in Paris. Now we get to wait for our flight to Bordeaux. Here we finally landed in Bordeaux and we're taking our tram to the hotel. This is our first time in downtown Bordeaux. This is the Victoire stop. It's sort of a rainy day. It's still a very nice first night. From here we went to sleep and then woke up early for breakfast. Now we're walking to our first class at Kedge Business School. Once our class wrapped up, we got our first lunch at Kedge and then headed towards the wine museum. The wine museum is super pretty, resembles a decanter and really cool architecture. And here we are in the lobby getting ready. Now we start exploring the museum. Here, it's a aroma station. We can go around testing our nose and how we smell aromas. Then we took a test on which wine we would be. Here you see a wall of all the different grape varieties and they show you visuals. Very interesting stuff. It teaches us a lot more about wine. There are many little side rooms you could go into to watch movies and little videos. Once our time was up, we got to walk through this wine collection and just browse all the different wines. Super nice collection they had. It was really interesting to see all the different types. And then we went up to the 8th floor to test wine ourselves and try it. There was a lot we get to pick from. I picked a red wine from Rhone Valley, I think it was. And then from here we walked outside and got back on the tram. We made a stop here at the fountain. Then we continue to walk around the city. You'll see Jaden riding a scooter. We actually downloaded the app and rode these around the city, which is very fun. It's a quicker way to see more and also have the fun of riding them. After riding the scooters, we got a little appetizer from this little cafe because dinners don't start at 7 or 8 in France. So this held us over to dinner and then we ate at this really nice restaurant where I got a steak. Fast forward till the morning, we decided to go visit the botanical garden, which is near our hotel. And I brought my camera and I got a lot of great pictures and we just enjoyed the views. There was a lot of people just out reading and enjoying the nice weather. Next, we jump on the bus to head to Saint-Emilion. As we're driving, we see hundreds of vineyards. Super beautiful drive. Now we've arrived at La Dominique, where we were starting with our wine testing. After we tasted the wine, we got to tour the chateau. Here are the vats where they ferment the wine. And we got lots of great information from our tour guide. Here's another picture, out looking over the vines. Now we'll walk down to the cellar where they age their wine in the oak barrels, and we'll hear a little bit from our tour guide.
So inside the wine for the aging, it's during 12 to 14 months, depending the vintage. So here inside there is the 2022. So in 2022 we had a lot of heat during the summer, so it's because we have less production. The grapes were very small, but it's a good vintage because we have a good maturity, concentration, so everything, but less production. So after this aging,
after our tour, we walk outside and go up the stairs to the beautiful view of the vineyard itself. And everyone's taking a bunch of pictures and just enjoying the view. Here you'll see all the red beet they had that resemble the grapes, and you can pretend that you're crushing them under your feet. It's a cool touch. So we're done at La Dominique. We bus ride over to the village of Saint-Emilion. Right away the village looked beautiful, and the trees really stood out to me with how unique they were. Here are some film photos I took while we were in Saint-Emilion. Our group walking through the streets. This is a view looking out over the village itself. Really pretty view. Again, we stopped to take pictures here and then continued with our tour of Saint-Emilion. After this, we see the cave which Emilion lived in many, many years ago. And unfortunately, we weren't allowed to take pictures in here, but it was very cool to see. A very nice tour guide explained all the artwork to us and the origins of it and what they make of the story. After seeing all this, we headed down to the underground cathedral, which is actually the biggest underground cathedral in Europe. This was amazing to be in. Just unfathomable how they were able to carve out the rock like that. Shortly after that, we go over to this cafe and we have a group lunch. Once we get back, we take the rest of the evening to explore the city, take pictures, and walk around. Here you'll see some of the pictures I took. This one right here is one of the favorites I took on the trip. I just love how the light is shining on the building and the tree with the colors. It's really nice. Here's the cathedral. We never made it inside, but it's a great view. Very beautiful, as you can see. Stopped for a snack. Got a pain au chocolat or a chocolate croissant and a raspberry tart. Really good. These small French bakeries make the best stuff, and you can't go wrong. Next, we sit down for dinner at this great Italian place. One of the best pizzas I've ever had, if I'm being honest. With a great view of the city. Here's just passing by the Museum of Wine again to meet some of the Kedge business students at the bar to just have a good time with them and talk with them. Here's inside the place. There's a pong table. There's the bar. Really nice atmosphere. We had a lot of fun. Then we hopped back on the tram. At this point, getting very familiar with the tram and taking it almost everywhere we go. walking back to class where we'll meet with the wine master again and have our wine tasting with him, along with our normal class lecture.
They're traditional strong markets. Canada, not quite back. Yeah, sorry, Canada, well back. Excuse me, 510, this again is 390. Once again, like the United States, a country that can cope with price rises, and a country that if it wants to drink French wine, then it's a bit more expensive, it will pay for it. Being made exactly the same way. So here, the idea is to actually see to what extent it's just the land that makes a difference. Because these wines come from vineyards, which are like about 5 miles away, one from another. Okay? But they have the rights to different appellations. One is called Petit Chablis, which, as you can imagine from the name, is like the sort of basic level of Chablis. Just being on a hill, facing the right way, rather than being on the flat land, can make a difference.
This wine tasting was great. Got to taste a lot of wonderful wines and hear from the wine master himself and how he goes about tasting wines and what he looks for in certain wines. I learned a ton from him just in 2 days, and taking a class with him would be super interesting. Got this great smoothie from the local place. Now we're waiting to get on the boat for our boat tour. This is my view from the table where we're eating. You can see the wines and the water right out the window. There's Jaden again. This is the selection of wines they gave us for dinner. 2 whites, 2 rosés, and 4 reds. Took a lot of pictures on the back of the boat as the sun set. Super nice night. Here's a picture of me and Professor Elahi on the back of the boat. Once the sun set, we got a great view. The water calmed down, and you can see the lights of the city reflecting off the water. Fast forward to our last day, we have one more chateau visit. Here's the vineyard. This is the chateau, super historical, beautiful view right in front of the vines. So much history in this place. We walk inside and again we see the vats where the fermentation takes place. And this place was interesting because they actually have artists come in and paint the vats. This is a cool touch and really unique. This is their cellar where they age their wine in their oak barrels. Then we see this really nice wine collection, super old, aged wines. Then we go up to our wine tasting. While the chateau and the land is super historic, the actual buildings itself are very modern and the interior designs are super modern. So they have this kind of contrast between super old and historic and modern designs, which is very cool. And then shortly after we taste our wine, these are the 2 bottles we tested. On the left is a more expensive and heavier wine. On the right, it was a more summery wine, very light and fruity. I preferred this one and I ended up buying a bottle of it. After the chateau visit, we had the rest of the day free and we could just do whatever we wanted. We decided to spend the rest of the day in the city and just do some more exploring, get some more nice food. Here I got a crepe. I've got this crepe twice. It's so good. It's raspberry sorbet with Nutella. So good. And then here is the Miroir, a very well-known landmark in Bordeaux. A lot of people come here to take pictures, especially at night when you have the beautiful reflection off the ground. A lot of people here. Super beautiful. Then we ate our dinner at this restaurant named Melody. Again, really good 3-course meal. Can't beat the food. Then sadly it was time to leave. We hopped on the plane, went back to Paris, laid over there, then flew back to JFK. Super long day of traveling for me because I had to stay another 4 or 5 hours in JFK to get my flight back to Vermont, where I live. Overall thoughts on the trip, I had such a good time. I would 100% do it again. I learned so much about wine, especially from the wine master. That was one of my biggest takeaways from the trip. I learned so much from him. We had a ton of great food, saw great views, a bunch of historical places, and it turns out the weather was really nice for us there too. I was afraid it was going to be bad because leading up to the trip, it looked super rainy, but we lucked out. I would definitely recommend this trip to anyone. We had a lot of fun and we learned a bunch about wine and just business in France overall. Thanks for watching.